What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Warriors What's Up TV. I'm so sorry, guys. I am like shell shocked after the massive loss there. Well, not massive loss, but 38 to 24. The Melbourne Storm get over the top of the Warriors. Yeah. Well, there's a lot to talk about in this performance here, guys. There's a lot of positives you could really think about this performance here. I thought there was a lot of moments that we did a lot of good things. We'll talk about the stats. We'll talk about all that sort of stuff, but we'll also talk about my overall thoughts on the game. And yeah, a couple of big moments that we definitely lost a lot of moments, whether it was with the referee, whether it was with just some single moments that the Melbourne Storm just struck on us. But it is what it is. 38 to 24. Thank you so much for everyone to continue to tuning in. Everyone that's filtered over currently from our watch along, my watch along there of this game. Feel free if you want to see my raw, unfiltered opinion on this game and all that. Go check it out on that. I haven't had a lot of time to really think about this performance here too, but this is going to be also very raw and all that. But if you want to go check out the game to a T, step by step, go check it out. Warriors What's Up TV, guys. I'm all at sea at the moment. I'm all at sea. Yeah. So really, let's touch on the game in like 3 or 4 different spots here. So we'll touch on the start of the game. So the boys came out and they absolutely fired. We're getting out to a 14-0 lead. A lot of errors came out of the back end from the Melbourne Storm. Actually, 1 or 2 errors in that. We got a lot of like momentum, especially with the boys running really, really hard. Nick Corday was incredible. I felt like Tamaite and Shawnee took a little bit to really find their combination early on, especially on that right side. A lot of it, I feel like they tinkered a lot with our game plan, which I'm not 100% with. Like, I feel like the best way we could have ran with this game is play flat off the ruck both sides and have Shawnee on the right, Tamaite on the left. I know a lot of people wanted Tamaite to get his hands on the ball a lot more, but I feel like that did take away from a lot of what Shaun Johnson does really, really well. But, there's going to be the argument for next coming weeks because we've already seen it before. Really, really unfortunate. But yeah, we're going to see a lot of people with Shawnee was quiet and all that. I understand. Shawnee is just come back off injury, guys. We got to understand that. He got training with the boys and that. And obviously, we tried a different sort of look to our game plan. If you actually look at it, the way we ran. Tamaite first off the ruck and Shawnee out the back of our players. Chance was posted up on the left-hand side, playing that 6 sort of role, that fullback role that he was playing against the Panthers. So that was a really interesting look to start this game. But you can't really go against it when we went out to a 14-0 lead. Tamaite was doing really good things. It was good to see us get over very early on. Who was the first 2 try scorers? Adam Pompey to try score early on, both coming from our left-hand side attack, which actually was really, really strong tonight. It's pretty much where all our tries came from. But even those moments where Maratini Akorde was incredible on that edge, running some beautiful lines. The game to start, it just felt like we were just going to continue chugging along. But again, as every football game does, there's a flip in momentum, and that's the best way. The Panthers and all that, usually the better teams are just holding on and really hanging through those times. And when we bring on someone like Tohu Harris and that, who wasn't incredible, I thought, in this game, he definitely got through his work, but there was an error pretty early on when he came on the stint, especially in that moment where I think Eli Katoa stripped Adam Pompey to get over for his first try. The first 2 try, guys, I will give it to, like, that's just Melbourne Storm kick. It's really hard to defend those. Like Eli Katoa, one-on-one moment, stripping it out at Adam Pompey. It is what it is. I can live with that. It is what it is. If we concede off that, that's fine. The second one, Grant Anderson, I can't really, it is what it is again. Like Xavier Coates getting up above, knocking the ball back. Rocco Berry, unfortunately, just not in the right position, but due to it's broken play football. And then Shawnee trying to cover in the corner, almost pulls off the tackle to cause Grant Anderson to knock the ball on, but to no avail. So great work from Grant Anderson to get into corner. So 2 tries off of kicks to get the Melbourne Storm back into this game. In between all that, that's when we started to lose a little bit of the shift with the referee there, where obviously the penalty off the kick, Jerome Hughes kicked out on the kick and ended up getting the penalty from Jackson Ford. My full unfiltered, and I'll be completely honest with you guys, I didn't think that was a penalty. I thought Jacko held out of the contest. He had both his hands up and the boot he ended up kicking out to really get that penalty. Is what it is. Smart work from Jerome Hughes to get the penalty away from the referee after we saw very early on in the contest Eli Katoa get pinned for the same thing, but a little bit worse of a look of a tackle there going in at Tamaite Mata's legs. And then the Storm just continued to roll on. The 2 tries that I cannot take for us, the rest of them, like Farlongo, Xavier Coates and that to finish the game, We had, what, 2 sin bins, and Melbourne struck the way the Melbourne struck is what it is. But the Dean Ieremira try, the Nick Meaney try. The Dean Ieremira try, I'm pretty sure off memory, was that right side shift, and I think they got it on the outside of Adam, or inside of Adam Pompey and that. No, that was the Nick Meaney try, sorry. That was in their own half. Got on the inside of, Adam Pompey, and then shifted out. Eli Katolik makes the big line break, shifted it out to Nick Meaney to scores the try. We need to get better at that. Our numbering up on that side. Melbourne had a long shift there. Our numbering wasn't there. Pompey was slow to cover on his inside, which usually he's really good at. Usually he favors the cover inside, then shift out. The Dean Ieremira try was the opposite. Monty was caught lacking on that side, too far in, watching the ball, not numbering up on the side. So those 2 tries for a Warriors fan, that's where we need to get better in those moments, right? So that's where I give props to the Melbourne Storm. So that's where Melbourne end up going into halftime, 20-14. They end up going ahead there. After the dominance that we had earlier on, the possession started to shift back into the Melbourne Storm favor. We had a 90 to 10% possession rate in the first 15 to 20. That shifted all the way back to Melbourne's way, I think 85-15 before halftime. So those are the moments. There was a lot of things not going our way there. We couldn't wrestle back momentum. We even had moments just before halftime where we started to get back into our rhythm of things, but to no avail, but, just not able to get points before halftime. So we go into halftime 20-14. We come out of halftime and Barnett goes over 45th minute, and we start to see, all right, here we go. The boys are turning over. There's some moments in the game now. And then we end up getting, I'll go through the play-by-play so I can get the minute down just the right time, because there was a big moment in the game. Mitch Barnett ended up getting the try, and then we had, here it is. We had a kick that went up. We defended that set, and then Jazzy Tavanga puts a hit on, Jazzy Tavanga and Tamani Martin puts a hit on, I think it was Grant Anderson, or it could have even been Dean Ieremira. The ball pops out, ends up being like a strip, not called a strip, and that was fine, all good. So we were sitting there waiting for if it was going to be not called a try. It is what it is. They go back 2 tackles for a supposed dangerous tackle on a Melbourne Storm player. From memory, I think it was Nick Meaney, or it could have been Dean Ieremira a couple of plays earlier. And call a penalty on that while they're watching replays. If they saw their emotion there, they should have called a penalty before that whole play happened, right? That's fair. But I thought they stopped doing that sort of stuff. I could argue that was a whiplash motion that ended up causing the head contact to the shoulder. If that was called in play, 100%, it is what it is, 50-50 call. That play is dead and gone now. We're a couple of tackles away from that play now. Jazzy makes an amazing tackle to end up causing the error and end up nearly scoring a try. Just unfortunate, knocked the ball on in a double knock on there before the try ended up getting scored. So they get the penalty off just bringing the ball back 2 tackles ago to a dangerous tackle, supposedly a high tackle to Maite Martin on, again, I'm pretty sure it's Dean Ieremira. Yeah, it is, because Dean Ieremira went off for a HIA about a couple of minutes later from that tackle being played. And then we go down to the field. They end up getting the penalty off that. The ones I will give to the Melbourne Storm, the Marcelo strip was a strip. When you got to see the replay finally, after my big explosion, I was like, we're on the back foot, not things going our way. It was a strip. And so then Jerome Hughes, being Jerome Hughes, hits in that moment. Marcelo's got to be better in those moments. And these sort of moments that I think that people would be looking at, where I know there's going to be a bit of talk coming this week of where Marcelo might keep his spot or where RTS might come in. So there's going to be a lot of talk on that. Marcelo brain explosion for trying to take Jerome Hughes. And, I understand that. I think Marcelo in his head probably would have thought, if I don't tackle Jerome Hughes, it's probably going to be a try scored. But tackle Jerome Hughes, you're going to get put in the bin. And they're pretty consistent on that. And it was his strip in the first place that caused that action. So unfortunate, but that is what it is. That sin bit is what it is. And then we get a double. They end up scoring off the next set of that play there. Suafalongo goes over. And then we have another brain explosion there from Dallin Martinez-Lesniak. We can't do that. The back-to-back big penalties, 4 sin bins. And again, guys, that's consistent. And I'll give Melbourne Storm fans that for sure. My argument for the game was, before that, The Jackson forward tackle on the legs was not a tackle on the legs. There was like that Jazz Tavanga play was a massive moment in the game where Jazzy almost scored a try and the momentum was there, but ended up getting called a double knock on. But then you had that moment there, you're just waiting of like, what's the referee doing? He's walking back to the spot. He's still talking. And he goes, penalty storm for a tackle two tackles ago on Dean Iramira with Tamani Martin hitting him high. It's big moments like that that really frustrate a lot of fans out there. Really, like a lot of fans out there. Yeah, I did actually want to touch on, sorry, Runga. Ash, yeah, I think Rocco went out injured, changed the whole game. Dylan Walker needed to be middle. There's probably food for thought there too, bro. But it was good to see that, Dylan Walker came back on and yeah, it is what it is. Like he filled in that spot. He got cut apart, but a lot of those moments he got cut apart, we were down to, 12 men and we were down to 11 men. I think, that second try. Actually, the far longer try was down when we were down with the 12 men. He probably could have covered that a lot better. And then the try for Xavier Coates we get back into the contest with Marcelo Montoya after, those boys come back on the field and we start to make a little bit of a comeback there and it just really fell apart. Mitch Barnett throwing the offload for the error. It was just a little bit too far gone. So my overall thoughts on the game too, guys, before I jump over to you guys in the chat, and we'll go back and forth for a little bit before I jump offline and all that. But there was a lot of great moments in that game. Like there was a lot of, we looked so dominant in a lot of periods. It does remind me a lot of earlier on this year. I do want to point that down to, we changed a lot of our attack now away from Chance sitting on that left side and then Tomato's now that first ball player, which a lot of people did want, but that takes away a lot of what Shawnee does. And I think there's got to be a bit more 50-50 there. But discipline really lost us this game in a couple of moments too. There was a couple of moments, again, I would argue those penalties to the cows come home. I think they were big momentum calls. I think the Melbourne Storm had a 5-0 penalty count in that second half. That was, just crazy, right? But the two sin binnings were sin bins. And I'll put my hands up. That is it is what it is. They're two sin bins. Unfortunately, when a quick tap is gone, Marcelo cannot take out the player that's because he's offside. That's consistent. And Dal, there's even an argument Dal could have been put in a bit sent off for that tackle. He left off his feet. He hung an arm out. It was reckless. He shouldn't have done that. But the moments I was arguing with is when we started to get back into momentum in that game and that the referees calls, we had an 0-5 penalty count in that second half of that period there with two boys in the bin. It was a very tough, it's a tough uphill battle to go from there. Before I jump over to you guys too, guys, I do want to shout out a couple of players that I thought were really, really solid in this contest here. Murata Niokore, I thought he was unbelievable in this game. Just jumping over to his stats here, guys. 88 meters off 9 runs. So, stats-wise, that's fairly good. You want to get it up to that 100 mark, being an edge-back row and that, but that's really good. But it's just more the post-contact meters, 52 meters, incredible. The tackle breaks, where's he at? 4 tackle breaks, but he had a lot of momentum in that game. He was fighting a lot of times. He had that moment there. He almost scored a try that would have put us, I think at that point, it was before that Mitch Barnett moment too. So he had that moment there. He almost scored to get us back in the contest there too. So he was incredible. I thought Pompey was really, really good in attacking moments in this game. Defensively, there was moments too where it's old school Pomps, where Far Longo got on the outside of Pompey. Pompey does struggle with a quick player that he allows to get on the outside. He relies on his length there. But I liked a lot of what Pompey did in this game too. That flick pass from Marcelo to get us back in the game as well was a big moment. His goal kicking fairly early on, he's good, you know what I mean? He had that moment there, he had 1 or 2 misses or something like that, right? But actually, 3 or 4, so he didn't miss out of the 2, he missed 1. And then Chanel, strangely, ended up taking the boot off him after that too, so that was weird. But I thought he was fairly good defensively. Obviously, still needs to fix up on certain things, but that's just Pompey. Marcelo, I didn't think it was his best game overall. I thought that Marcelo, obviously scoring a couple of tries there, but the defensive moment there where he just needed to stay out a little bit, he was caught a little bit too far in. I think you would give a little bit more to Melbourne, Jerome Hughes. I think put the pass on, was a great pass in that, but you can't get caught ball watching there. Tamade Martin, I thought was great in this game. I thought he was really, really strong again. It shows that his confidence is still high. So everything's still good with Tamade. Shawnee definitely wasn't his best game. And a lot of people are going to argue he went really, really quiet. Again, my whole argument to Shawnee is that it's his first game back off injury. And again, I keep going back to, we completely changed our sets the way we played there with Tamade playing first off the ruck and Shawnee playing out the back, where usually Chance plays out the back on that right-hand side. Chance posted up on that left-hand side as that number 6 role is what the Panthers, in that Panthers game. It completely changed the look of the team, and I don't think that's where Shawnee is best suited these days. Shawnee is best suited one off the ruck and playing, maybe even with that link man, but playing with the edge back row on his inside, playing those short balls and that, which Tamade actually was doing good as well on that left side. I would have preferred to see left side, right side, Tamade getting first off the ruck on the left, and Sean Johnson playing first off the ruck on the right, and having Chance sweep both sides. I think that was the better way to look at it, but I'm sure Webby will take that out of the game and really fix up a lot of those things. I thought Ads was fairly good in this game. Again, 151 run meters, 71 post contact. The guy's an absolute freak. Jacko got through his work, 161 run meters. I thought he was fairly solid again today through the middle. Mitch Barnett was incredible, other than the error later on in the game. That was at a bad moment. But again, we were trying to find a moment in that game, and I can understand why he threw that. But his try got us back into the contest, and that was one off just him running strong and hard, which he did all night. 145 run meters, incredible there. 56 post contact, a line break. Great work from him. Dylan Walker started off fairly well, 121 run meters, getting shifted out to the center didn't help him at all. A lot of people are going to be talking about that, got away from the middle, but it is what it is. We had to do that. It was either going to be him or Kurt Catewell coming off the bench, and I thought he filled in there fairly well. We went down to one man, the only moment that he got stripped on that edge, other than maybe, that Dell, taking that high tackle that, I'll have to rewatch that again from memory. I didn't know if that was a defensive effort there from Dell that he had to make that moment, but yeah, I thought Dylan Walker actually covered there fairly well. Jazzy, I thought Jazzy was good. Jazzy had a lot of big moments too, defensively again, the big moment I was talking about where the referee kind of went back 2 set plays, but that was a massive moment for Jazzy, and I was just, the energy he brings is incredible. It's just such a weird game to really touch on. I thought Wado had a good game, 87 run meters out of dummy half and that, but I thought he was slick with the ball. Had a couple of really nice moments. Just, discipline. Really, discipline lost us this game. I really thought. I really did think discipline lost us this game. I really do. All right, guys, that's pretty much enough from me. I'm going to jump over to you. Ask any questions you want before I jet off. Again, I'm really sorry for a little bit a smaller episode here of Full Credit to the Boys, but I do have family over currently right now that I do want to catch up with and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, come shoot your questions away and I'll give you my honest thoughts on it. And I'm so sorry I didn't really pin any comments before this. I really do appreciate all the comments that you guys have done before this. 63 people in the chat currently right now. I hope you guys like and subscribe if you enjoy the content on Wires Up TV. Zach Kemp, Sean Johnson and Tamade Martin play very similar and butt heads. Yeah, I guess. I just would have, again, I would have loved to see maybe a little bit more. I would have loved to see us go back to what we were doing before. Sean Johnson getting first off the ruck, but then Tamade, if he's going to play on that left side, play first off the ruck. I don't think Shawnee playing out the back of plays works, and I don't think Tamade playing out the back of plays works. You're right, they're very similar players, but we can play with a left side, right side sort of look, like an old school type of look of game. It just didn't work. Jose, our backs were quiet. Yeah, fairly quiet. A couple of big errors. I think Dal had an error in that. I didn't think he had his best game in general. 2 errors from Dal in this game. A penalty, a sin bin. Not the best game there from Dal. Marcelo, 2 penalties, a sin bin. Not the best moment there. Scored 2 tries though. Got through a little bit of work. 80 run meters. Yeah, you're right. 69, 80 run meters. Our backline did not get through a ton of work in this game. Not at all. So great point there, my man. A lot of peeps. I take a lot of positives away from this game. Honestly, we could have won that, and even though the score line blew out in the end, those send-offs, yeah, were pretty big moments. Yeah, we had a couple of pretty big moments against that. So possibly Tamade Martin, Dallin, Martinez, Lesniak out with suspension, Rocco with injury, Pompey injured, yep, and Marcelo dropped. It's a lot of changes. It's a lot of changes coming up against the Titans team. that just lost against the Tigers. So they'll be looking for a win there too. We should be better than the Titans, hopefully, but you know. Jose, I thought the boys came in too excited. It slowly lost the momentum more and more as the game went on. Yeah, it's tough to say because the momentum shift was pretty hard in that game, and a lot of it did come from, like, we'll touch on a couple of the team stats here, bro. You know, 54% of possession to our way to their 46. We completed at 84%, so we held the ball a lot better than the Melbourne Storm at 78% there. We got over the top of them in run meters with 1,474 to 1,224. The line breaks swayed the way of the Melbourne Storm there, 6-4, but we had a lot of success there. Tackle breaks, 49 to 26. Like, the statistics say that we were fairly dominant for most majority of this game. The big one where it really did hurt was we conceded 8 penalties to the Melbourne Storm 5. So the Melbourne Storm 5 happened very early on in the game where we had a lot of momentum there too. But as soon as the penalty count started to sway the way of the Melbourne Storm, that's a lot of when our momentum definitely didn't hold in. And it's a big thing with us this year. We got to defend our errors and all that. Even though things go against us, we got to just try to stick together and really hold together and just try to get these wins, really do it the hard way. Unfortunately, we're losing that a little bit. But yeah. 10 errors to 11, so we had a better error count there. Again, they had 49 missed tackles to our 26, so defensively it was fairly strong there. But a couple of moments for line breaks is like the misreads from Marcelo and one moment for Adam Pompey. A couple of moments for Adam Pompey. We definitely got to get better in those moments. Runga, what's going on? Question, we will never know, but why didn't we put any pressure on Jerome Hughes? He had all the time to kick in the world. Maybe they were shell-shocked after that penalty got given away from Jackson Ford. You know, that moment that he put a lot of pressure on Jerome Hughes, putting that kick up, and he put his hands up in the air. Honestly, I don't think it was a penalty, but they got the penalty from it. And a lot of times maybe they just held away thinking that, yeah, it's just is. But yeah, 38 points, yeah. It's just, we can't allow that many tries in. Like, it just is what it is. Jared, thank you so much for coming through, my man, new man. Sean Johnson and Tomato Martin need to find that balance. I honestly think it can happen. I just know Sean Johnson is going to get hammered. Yeah, I agree with you, Jared. I don't think Shawnee should get hammered for this game. I don't think he was a major problem in this game at all. I think, you know, the penalties that we gave away, like 10 penalties and that to let him back into the contest and stuff, and like, I'll check on Shawnee's numbers. I don't think Shawnee gave away those penalties. Like, let's take a look at Shawnee's numbers anyway. 55 run meters overall, with 10 runs of the ball. He had 2 tackle breaks in this game. Missed only 3 tackles. So still missed 3 tackles, 23 tackles made though. So, got through a decent work there defensively. 2 errors from Shawnee. Yeah, there were 2 errors in that one. So there was a couple of moments there, but didn't give away any penalties. So, and to be fair, a couple of those penalties, like one of them, I did think that like it was a crowding in the ruck, but didn't get called, but it is what it is. I think it'll work. It's just, I don't think the game plan they ran out there with works for Sean Johnson. And if you want my honest opinion, Tomato Martin or Sean Johnson is our best half we had at our club. Tomato's having really good form at the moment, and he's a great halfback. But I do believe we can make this work if we have a left side, right side, and have Tomato focus on that right side and have Shawnee focus on that left side, not play out the back of any plays there and have just Chancey run, off the back of those plays, left and right. It was a weird game plan from me. Like, it's different for what we usually do. So that's my argument against Sean Johnson in this one. I thought it's pretty hard to really say that it's his fault in this game because it's not. But I know he's going to get eaten apart. I really do. It's really unfortunate. I feel for him, bro. I feel for him. A lot of peeps. Murata was on. He could have had 2 tries, 100%. And it's just some hard line running, bro. He was incredible on that side. I thought he was unbelievable. Jacko here. Come on. We leaked 38 points equals not good. Yeah. It's pretty simple like that. Yeah, 100%. If you want to look at it simply, 38 points, just not good enough. That's, 100%. Without context, that's exactly what it is. I don't know why we take 2 points against Melbourne Storm. We did last time. You need more than 2 points to beat number 1 team. Against this is all like game plan reliant. As soon as you go up by 6, I think they took that one. So like the Melbourne Storm would have had to, if they got the momentum swing, they had to get 2 tries on us. where if the Melbourne Storm actually defended on their line, would only be at a 1-try advantage. So that's what's going through their head there. You could argue that we were that high on momentum that we could have scored a try in that moment, but that's still up in the air where we could have took 2 easy points there and got back through our set, which is what we did. Like, we had that really good moment in that game. We're 14-0 up. Like, when we're 14-0 up, and even when like Katoa had that moment where he stripped the ball and scored that try, we should be good enough to really hold in those moments and wrestle the game back in our favor, but we were unable to do that. I felt like that change of Tohu coming off the bench wasn't as effective as it was with the Cowboys. I really did. Tristan, good to see you, man. All our tries all came from the left. When it went out to gesture on the right, it was dead plays. Or, bro, you got to, like, this is what I keep saying. Like, if you rewatch the game, bro, watch the moments where Shawnee gets the ball. It's out the back of play instead of playing first off the ruck. If you watch where Shawnee plays his best football, it's with a damaging edge back rower playing on the outside of him. It's not playing out the back where Chance usually plays, which you saw pretty early on in the game. Him play out the back of Rocco Berry even to try to do a tap on with Dallin pretty early on in the game. That does not suit the new age Shaun Johnson. That suits the old school Shaun Johnson, probably playing out the back like that. But even I would argue that Shawnee plays his best football when he plays one off the ruck or even one off the link man and having an edge back rower on that outside. We didn't play to those sets in this game. We had Chance play the 6 role on the other side and Tamade be that roaming 7 role. And Shawnee was out the back of those players. It doesn't work with Shaun Johnson. Shawnee's got to have a lot more touches and play that halfback role to be Shaun Johnson. So that's my argument to Shawnee in this one. There's context to this game. There is context, guys. A lot of peeps. I question our quick chase, though. Surely it must not be Webby keeps saying, keep your feet and not contest. We contested fairly early on, but I feel like a lot of that, there was a moment in that game where it did fall away a little bit. I feel like if you listen to the commentary in that game, you could really swing to that way. But you got to think that we were down to 11 men at that moment, and a lot of the commentary should have pointed that out as the reason why we didn't go up for those kicks. I think we wanted to keep a strong defensive line. If you play rugby league, like when you go down by 12, you should be having a defensive mindset as well. Like, you can't just go like, got to compete on everything. Because again, we got blown out. Yeah, fair. You could say that. But in those moments, we weren't too far away from the Melbourne Storm. So we're trying to hold in together until our boys came back and strike late, which didn't come to avail. But that's the reason why we weren't contesting on our kicks later on in that game. And I felt like the Aussie commentators were really pushing on that. And like, even when we were chasing our points late on, like sometimes sets go out the door when we're chasing our points, and it's not the best way to play footy, but they harped on that a little bit too much when we were disadvantaged, and we were playing from a disadvantage at that point there too. So that's my thoughts there. Sure, Jacko, Shaun Johnson is used to idiots complaining. Yeah, I know. We can't go back to being a team that just keeps like saying that. Like, yeah. Epi, Shaun Johnson was a beast on defense, which was great to see. Yep. Yeah, I thought he had decent moments. Missed a couple of tackles, but I didn't see him get stripped too badly in that game. A lot of our like bad moments came from our other edge, in my opinion. So yeah, fair call. Jacko here, Master Coach Bennett always takes the 2 in a lead. Yeah, exactly. You just it's the smart way to go about it. You're going to get easy points comparatively to if you're going to keep attacking the line, you're not getting given points. Like the Melbourne Storm aren't just going to crumble and allow you to do it. Like whether you think that we're on top or not, there was a lot like less of a chance of us scoring points that way when we could have gone up by 2 tries. So that's the reason why we went for the 2. It just is what it is. That's what happens. Daniel Wilson, Shaun Johnson was lackluster in defense and attack. Defense, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, team, whole Bible had shut him down now. Again, bro, if you haven't heard what I had said before, bro, honestly, we changed our game plan on the way we ran Shawnee. Again, if you watch the game, please feel free, guys. I do, like, if you guys do really want to rewatch the game, Tamade was playing a lot more of that first man, which is what everyone wanted to see, right? A lot of people wanted to see. But that's not Shaun Johnson's game. That doesn't help Shawnee. Like, we should be playing to Shawnee's positives more so than anyone else. Shawnee is our best halfback at our club. He's got to play one off the ruck or one off the link man with the edge back roller. He can't be playing out the back. He's not old school Shawnee. He's not going to beat you with speed on the outside to play out the back to Dallin Watson and Zelezniak. He's not Chance. He's not a fullback. He shouldn't be playing those out the back sweep plays, in my opinion. They got that wrong. That's my thoughts anyway. I'm not a coach. I could be completely wrong. But in my opinion, that's not how Shaun Johnson plays his best football. His best football is as a halfback. is to play with an edge back roller and have that man running those big lead lines and creating space for the outside man to create that space. Tamade Martin doesn't play his best football playing that football either. He plays the best football, again, very similar to Shawnee, one off the ruck or one off the link man with an edge back roller. So to me, the best way to really suit both those players is to play an old school traditional game plan of left side, right side, and just have Tamade run that left, Shawnee run that right, and Chancey be the man that plays out the back on both sides. Maybe that's harder to do. Maybe that's like, that's not the new age game. It is what it is. But for me, that's the way that would have worked for me. I just think as like Warriors fans, we can't like use this one game here. We had a 3-game win streak where we looked really, really good. The boys will get back to basics. They'll learn from this game. There's a lot of moments in this game that we will get better. I don't want to say that players need to be dropped after this game. Like, it frustrates me the way people think that you can chop and change a team and say that's going to how it works. If you chop and change a team all season, you're going to end up like the Tigers and the Gold Coast Titans. Honestly, that's my honest opinion. Tay, bro, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, my man. Epi, Tavaga Ozzy's spot and then some tonight. Yeah, I thought he was really good. His energy was unreal. Jacko, I really think CHT and Sean Johnson is our best half combo. Yeah, without Metcalf, because I know you love Metcalf as well too, Jacko. Yeah, I think they suit each other a lot better. I think it can work to Tamade Martin and Sean Johnson, but it's going to have to be a game plan that revolves around both those guys having a left side, right side, and not taking a lot of ball off each other. It might be a little bit too clunky to do that. So it possibly is like Tamade is not a 7, not a 6. Shawnee's not a 6. They're both halfbacks. And unfortunately, it might be just we have to take one down the cup and one not. And for me, Sean Johnson is our best halfback. Even though Tamade's been in amazing form, Shawnee is our best halfback. We win a grand final. We'll win a grand final with Sean Johnson. I don't know if we'll win a grand final with Tamade Martin. That's my honest opinion. Scotty, good to see you come through, my man. I love to see RTS for Rocco and CHT Voldemort. Yep. Then Sean Johnson and Walker. Again, I don't agree with Sean Johnson and Walker only because, like, if you watched last year, I felt like that was one of our worst combinations of halves. Like Dylan Walker defensively is great as a half, but I feel like his ball playing on that side, even though it's gotten a lot better this year by the looks of it, but more as a link man. I don't know how Walker would do as that 6 role. I feel like he'll stun a lot of our plays on that side. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But, yeah, I agree. Like, now Rocco might be out. I think RTS would be preferred on that side. I really do. He's a right side player because he's fends on that side. He carries with the right hand. So, yeah, I like the look. I like the look of that. Danny Wilson, I hear you, but why go away from Chanel and Tamade Martin when it was working? Again, like, I'll put it to you too. Early on in the season, there was a period where Sean Johnson was working with Metcalf. We can't forget about that as well. Before Sean Johnson started to deal with injuries, he had that 6-week run of an Achilles injury where he couldn't train with the side. There's context to everything. And like, if you forget what Shawnee did last year, he was the Daily M halfback of the year last year. Like, it's just the way it is, bro. Like, I understand, like, it was great to see that work with Tamade Martin and Chanel. But even if it's a drop this game, I think there's a combination. Shawnee is our best half, and it will be better with Shawnee at halfback. But we'll have to probably see a little bit more. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. It could be wrong. Richard, Webby wouldn't be playing Tamade where the fans want him. He's putting him there for a reason. I don't know why. It's not, please. Yep. Yeah, I feel you, Daniel. I feel you. I think we're all bummed at the moment, bro, but I knew this was coming. And like, I think there's more context to what's going on right now. That's the whole thing. It's like, we came off a really good period there. We were unbelievable. The Melbourne Storm are the Melbourne Storm. They find ways to win games. They're a moments team. Like, pretty early on, 14-0. Even when we went down those 2 tries, 2 tries off kicks and they're broken play football. Like, you can't defend Eli Katoa one-on-one strip on Adam Pompey after he went up for a kick. Like, that's a big game play from Eli Katoa. And then the other one was Xavier Coe's bat back. They end up, Grant Anderson was in the right place at the right time, ended up getting in the corner. You can't really defend that unless you get the bodies in front, like, as best you can, but we can't. Everything else was a little bit like, all right, a lot of our defensive side, Bumpy and Montoya got found out again. And it was a lot of our issues sometimes last year. I thought Bumpy was really, really good in moments, but also he had a couple of moments there. I thought Monty had probably one of his lesser games in this one. Um, Jacko here. A lot of folk don't realize there is a difference between a 6 and 7. Just look at Brown. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a good point to that, my man. There is definitely. Yeah, I totally agree. The 6 has got to play second fiddle, and it's up to whether we believe that Tamani Martin's our best halfback or Sean Johnson's our best halfback. That's in my opinion. Jared, RTS and Moala, hopefully as Leotola comes back around 18. Yeah, I could see that. For sure. Tristan, Roger to play right wing and center when Walsh was fullback in 2021. Yep. Ray 45, I'm devastated for RTS. He's the best ever fullback watching from the bench. I think he brings extra. Nah, I don't agree with that at all, bro. Chancey's been fucking incredible for us for like a good period there. He's averaging like 300, he's averaging 250 run meters, I think, off the top of my head this year. And in big games for us, he's been over like the 300 mark, I think, at 2 to 3 times. He's been incredible. I don't think RTS will play a full season at that fullback click without injuries and stuff hampering his ability at the moment. That's the reason why I think he wanted to come back and play center. He's a bigger body. He's an older body now. He doesn't want to get through that much work as much as he did. He still got through a ton of work when he was there before. But for me, the best way, we got a team that we have on paper. Chance has to be the fullback because I think that Roger is a better player either playing center or wing than Chance is playing center and wing. If that makes sense to you, I don't think, yeah. Daniel, not trying to hate on Sean Johnson. I just thought it was a weird game to bring it back, but I love your work. Appreciate you, my bro. Nah, again, bro, like don't take it as like I'm not attacking you personally at all, bro. Like I understand why there's thought process onto this, but I think like that's kind of like why. Like, it's good to hear everyone's opinion on it, you know what I mean? But, like, that's what I saw out there. I could be wrong again, but from what I saw out there, Sean Johnson was playing a lot more of that 6 role or even like a fullback role. You saw it pretty early on in the game. He was playing out the back of Tamani Martin. It just doesn't suit Sean Johnson. He's a 7. That's just my opinion. Scotty, good to see you. A positive take from this is how many options we have. Exactly, Scotty. Yeah, that's a great positive. There's the amount of options that we have at this club currently right now is incredible. I know it sucks to see 38-24, 38 points scored against us. Defensively, that's not good enough. 100%. There's context to a lot of this, but again, we got to be better than that. You know what I mean? To be a top 4 team, all that sort of stuff, because we want to be a top 4 team, even though we may not get there this year, is what it is, right? But to be that, we're going to have to defend better than that. But I thought, like, again, the positive is, like, the amount of players that are stepping up for us at the moment. Mitch Barnett, Jackson Ford, I thought was really good in the middle. Marata Niakore was incredible on the edge-back rower role. Even players like Dylan Walker, Jazzy Tavanga, like, the energy they bring. Chanel even had moments where he looked really good in that middle role coming off, like, you know, he only played for a short stint at the end of the game, but I actually enjoyed a lot of what he did in the middle. Even, like, Wade Egan got back to a little bit of form in this game, getting out of ruck. I thought he was really good there. Our backline definitely didn't play to their potential. Like, you know, Marcelo 80 meters, Dallin 69. Like, it's definitely not to their potential as what they usually get. Like, you know, Marcelo averages about 150 meters out of their back end in a usual game. Dallin usually averages about 102, 103, 130 around that range. 69 is definitely not good enough for him, but great number. So yeah, there is a lot of positives, bro. I do believe that. Jared, yeah, totally agree. I hate that he plays his best football against the Warriors too. I really do. And again, I kind of want to touch on too. I think Bellamy had a really good game plan in this one too. Like his moment where he put Nas on was the perfect moment to put someone like Nas on to continue their momentum. I thought it was a coaching masterclass there. It just shows why Craig Bellamy is one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the game. So shout out to Craig Bellamy. I thought he coached this amazing game here. I didn't think Webby was too far off, but yeah, like out of the two, I got to give it to Craig Bellamy in this one. I thought he was incredible. Windmill kick the like button. Thank you, Jazzy. Appreciate you, man. Jacko here. Shout out to Bunty. I thought he was injured, but had a great game in Cup today. Yeah, I thought he was unreal in Cup today. Again, like our Cup team's incredible. Like a lot of big performances down there from a lot of great players. Buzz HQ, I've cooled down now. Well played, Storm. I think some of the rest calls were a bit hard to take. Yeah, we all agree with that, my bro. But I think Capewell might need to just let the young guns play. I didn't think Capewell, again, how many minutes did Capewell play? Because I don't remember him playing for a long. 25 minutes, bro. I don't think you could really take a lot. And usually the 17th man for Webby doesn't play a lot of minutes either. So, again, I don't want to say that's Capewell's problem. He only played 25 minutes. It's really tough to really prove yourself in 25 when you got Murata played a decent stint at 56 and looked incredible for that 56. So for me, I still would run with Capewell there because he can cover multiple different positions. He has moments in him, but again, like I think we all want to see more out of him, and I agree with you on that side of things. Captain Cookie, we lost our discipline. The Storm ruck pressure frustrated us. We need to not need to freak out. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of positives to take out of his performance, so I'll give it to that. Hopefully not. Is everything slowing down? The internet's not dying out on me, is it? Let me know, guys, in the chat if hopefully it's not killing me at the moment. But yeah, our discipline definitely wasn't there tonight, whether or not it was referee or not. Daniel Wilson, we looked amazing throughout periods of this game. We make it look, legit. Our field position was unbelievable. Like the work from a lot of our forwards tonight was like unreal. And that's a big positive to take out of it. I felt like our forward pack stood up. Shout out to Melbourne. I'll have a look at a couple of their stats, but let's have a look here. So if Longo 141 meters, but other than that, the only players to get over 100 meters, the Melbourne Storm here, guys. This is a crazy one. Eli Katoa, Trent Liero, and Fa'alongo. So fair, like defensively throughout the Storm back end, other than the couple of line breaks that, Jerome Hughes, that sort of stuff. Defensively, we did really well to limit their meters to what it was. But again, like the line breaks, like Jerome Hughes, 3 line breaks assists, 2 try assists. Like, oh man, why do you have to kill us every time you play against us? I thought Eli Katoa was incredible too. Like you saw even early on in the game, I kind of pointed out in the stream, there was a moment there where I think there was a knock on that went back into the end goal and we nearly pounced on it to score a try. And the first man back there was Eli Katoa. And that just like proves like the growth in Eli Katoa's game. The one-on-one strip on Adam Pompey, again, proves he's a 1% player now. He's one of the best edge back rowers in the game right now. So full respect to Eli Katoa. And feel free to come home, brother. A lot of peeps. Ash, Eshe is our scapegoat. Yeah, exactly. I feel for him on that, bro. Jacka here, no internet, good bro. Thank you, my man. Appreciate ya. Just on my screen here, my preview screen, it's like slowing down a little bit. So I don't know if that's just on my end and everything's all good on your end. So appreciate you for that, my bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, Jacko, just what I said. Yeah, 100%. Our attacker time looked amazing. And to the Storm's credit, they saved 3 to 4 tries. Yeah, 100%. And Jacko, Katoa man of the match. I agree. Him or Jerome Hughes. I thought they were incredible. I would give it to Eli Katoa. I thought he was unbelievable. Even Harry Grant in moments was really, really good. Like the scheming little dummy half kick he has in him to put Xavier Coates in the corner when we were down 12 minutes at that point. I think Marcelo came back on the field for there. Big moment. It's what they do. When you got Hughes, you got Grant, those guys, just the moments they have is incredible. Jazzy, yeah, unfortunately, our fans have no patience to make irrational calls, but we have to, yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. You keep the hardiest dudes around. I agree. Matt, Rain killed us for, but, two teams had to play in the rain. I think, Melbourne Storm probably played a little bit better rain football, but again, I thought there was a lot of positives to our game as well. I know it probably comes off negative because everything is going on right now, jumping back and forth to the chat and maybe even the way I talked about before, but there was a lot of positives in it. 38 points is something we need to tone down on. Defense is how we win games, and we need to do that better. We hit our 24 points mark. That's a good mark for an attacking team to get 24 points and above. 38 points conceding, not good enough. If you want to look at it that way, we need to fix up on our defense no matter what. Even if we get behind on penalties and all that sort of stuff and all the hard work we do, we got to work even harder to defend those errors. And that's where we need to fix up on. And I think it's been a problem for us this year. We've seen it all the way throughout this year. We've had a big sample size of this year. Even in some of our big games, errors and that, we don't defend our errors that well. Ray 45, so proud that they fight back. The penalties made it hard to watch. Thanks, Ash, for these recaps, calming down. No, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming through, bro. And like, yeah, as I said, like if we ever have back and forth in the chat, guys, please don't take it personally. It's just me like trying to round out my thoughts on the game as well. But also like, you know, just telling you guys where my thoughts are and try to give it across that way. Because I love every single one of you guys. Like, appreciate everyone in the chat. You guys make this so great and so fun to do it every single night that we do this. So it's incredible. And I won't be too far longer, guys. I'm going to jump off pretty soon. It's 8 o'clock. I just want to go see my family pretty quickly, but I'll go through a couple more chats, guys. But any more questions that you have, please pump them out within the next couple of minutes. If you do enjoy the content we're bringing to you guys, make sure you like and subscribe. If it's Wahs Up TV, if it's on Ash Thomas YouTube, even if it's on X, feel free to come over to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. You've been incredible. Daniel Wilson, Storm doing a good job of making a 50-50 game. Good ruck interference. Yeah, 100%, man. And that's what the Melbourne Storm do so well, and that's what happens when you have a Craig Bellamy type of side. And even Craig Bellamy, they're not playing amazing football in big periods, the Melbourne Storm, but what they keep doing to win games, and it's kind of like what Queensland do really well, is like they strike in big moments, in momentum-changing moments that change the game for their end. You think of like a lot of times when the Blues go up against the Maroons, a lot of times they're peppering the line, they got the flair, they just continue to do it, but Queensland just keep turning up in little moments there, and then like bang, they'll strike when they need to. The game shifts on its head, and Melbourne are so good at doing that, and they've got that down to a T. For Melbourne fans, there's still little things you need to fix up in your game. Like your forward pack can get dominated, even with some big boys in the middle. Like I felt like our forward pack did an amazing job on your forwards. Other than Eli Katoa, who's absolutely incredible and a complete freak, but even if you watch their season, like they are conceding a lot of points, but Melbourne are learning how to win games, and they're so classy for that. A lot of peeps. Storm Bingard's just know how to peep. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Craig with his interchange times, he was incredible. 100% Jacko. Webber needs to take note. Was that on? Grant showed why dummy halves need a kicking game. Yeah, there's probably a little bit more food for your thought there, bro. Wado probably needs to look at that a little bit more, but again, I don't think that's what loses the games. But yeah, we could probably look into that. Who'll be out next week? Honestly, there could be a massive list here. I think, you know, Dalling probably could get suspended. I'm not too sure if his first charge or whatever, whether he will get a penalty, like, you know, just a fine and that, but it was a pretty ugly looking tackle there. Marcelo, he should be back, whether he gets dropped or not. I don't think he'll get dropped, especially when we got other players out. Pompey went down with an injury by the looks of it at the end of that game there, and Rocco was down with the injury for majority of that game there. He went down, and he played 37 minutes, so in that first half there. So yeah, our backline's going to look a little bit different next week, but we have a lot of great players in Cup that are going to step up, and RTS should be back next week, so should be good to see. And we'll get to see where Webby thinks RTS will be, because if he doesn't play the center role, plays Dallin's wing role, he's going to be a winger. If he plays in the centers for Rocco Berry, he's going to be a center. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes, because Graham Telfar could play center or wing too. So whether they want to go with that, yeah, there's a lot of options they could really go with. Thank you so much, man. I will for sure. Please, guys, we got a full week here on Wahs Up TV. We'll go through the games with Joshy Gage here on Monday night. So we got the Mead Feed podcast, obviously Levon and Joshy Gage. Go check it out. Amazing podcast. Really fun. Those guys are incredible. Then we've got a massive show on Tuesday night. Maybe a little surprise guest for you guys out there. So please tune in on Tuesday night for our All You Can Eat Warriors. We're going to be talking about this game, but also running into next week's game against the Titans. I won't be able to do the watch along next week too, guys. I will be at the Titans game. So any Gold Coast fans out there, like any Warriors fans in the Gold Coast, you see me at a Gold Coast Titans game, come say hello. I'd love to talk to you guys face to face. I think you guys would be incredible in that. But yeah, Massive week. I'm sure we got the Wednesday show. It's going to be Down Unders with me and Brody. If you didn't check it out last week, go check out last week's show coming to next week. It's going to be talking about all the games of the weekend, the NRL, all the big topics and stuff like that, and our tips and our betting tips for the weekend. We almost got up on a couple of them, guys, so do check out those ones. But yeah, feel free. Going to be a massive week, and I think Levon will be doing a reacts, or I might be doing a reacts next week. It's going to be a full week on Wise Up TV, so please make sure you like and subscribe and tune into our big schedule we have going on. Bobby Carr, bro, I'll be warming up a cuppa after this too, my man. Sit down with some family and just talk about, you know, life and stuff. I'm really excited, but yeah. Dallin would get 2 weeks. Yeah, I could probably see that. Tristan, is it a simple fix by letting SJ control like he usually does and letting Tomato Martin be second fiddle? Honestly, bro, it might be a little bit tougher than that because I think that takes away from Tomate's game. So it might have to be a tough decision whether Tomato is a 6 or not, or whether Webby goes the old school traditional and just separate the field. Left side, right side. Tomato got the first ball out of the ruck, play halfback on that other side, and Sean Johnson plays halfback on the other side. So and have chance play both sides of the ruck. I think that can work. Do we have time to see if that will work? I'm not too sure, but what we are kind of seeing is Tomato Martin is a 7, Sean Johnson is a 7, and it might be a lot harder to make that work. And out of the two, in my opinion, and this could be my rosy colored glasses too, because I'm a massive SJ fan and all that, but like I'll call him out if he has bad games, but I think Sean Johnson's our best halfback in our club. He won Dally M halfback last year. He had good moments to start this year before he got injured and even played through all those injuries, guys. We got to remember that there's context to this. This game plan did not suit Sean Johnson. That's my last thoughts on this. Running this all out. Yeah, peace, love. Epi, thanks, Wise Up TV. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Jazzy Rearrange Grand Spine. We're up. Love that, guys. We'll pretty much end on that. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in to Full Credit to the Boys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Also, you know, feel free, if you missed any of it, if you jumped in late too, guys, feel free to re-watch the live stream. You're able to do that on YouTube. So, you know, and also comment down below your thoughts overall. So appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you so much. Up the Warriors. We'll be back up there this next week, guys, against the Titans. Get excited for that game. Let's go. Let's get back on the horse and just support the boys out there, guys. Positive movement. Let's go. Up the Warriors. Have a good weekend, guys. Take it easy.